Hi guys, I want to present you three myths of modern science. These three have in common that they're all pure fiction. They have nothing to do with reality, they are not proven, there's no need for them, they are purely imagination. That's all. So, first off is easy. First off is the wormhole. Now, if you believe in wormholes, you might as well believe in leprechauns. According to insiders, a wormhole is a tube-like structure going from one side of our universe to another side of our universe, and we can use it as a shortcut. And it goes as follows. Say you have two black holes, very mystifying things, right? So very easy to blame them for all kinds of special properties. Two black holes, and when you fold space, believe it or not, but people who think wormholes are real also think that space is a piece of paper, two-dimensional piece of paper. And they say that you can fold space, and when those two black holes meet, you can walk right through those things. Like nothing happened, no scratch, nothing. Wonderful invention, right? Yeah. But ask yourself, has everyone ever seen a wormhole? No, not even the Hubble telescope. Is there a use for it? Yeah, well, it would be very useful, but nature has no use for it to be in existence. Nature doesn't go around its way just to create for us these shortcuts. Nature just goes its own way and doesn't provide us with these shortcuts. So there's no proof of it, there's no need of it. Pure fiction, I think. I have no other words for them, it's horse crap. So, wormholes. The stuff of fairy tales. Another fairy tale. Same level, same stupidity level, I mean. And that's the gluon. My God, whoever came up with that word? You know, by just looking at the word gluon, you know it's made up. You know, somebody thought about glue. And where did it come from? Well, they thought, well, every nucleon is made out of 3 quarks. They knew that. That's good. And then they thought, well, what holds those quarks together? What holds them in place? So they came up with something not very tangible, something liquid, something you can always shape, if you will. So they thought of a gluon. It's not very defining, a gluon. You know, you can take a gluon, it's more of a blob, and that's what it represents. But you also could have named it a screw-on, a solder-on, a tie-wrap-on, a kit-on, or a duct tape-on. But they choose gluon because they have absolutely no clue what holds those 3 quarks together. And they have absolutely no clue what a quark looks like. And that's the best of the best. That's all they can do for you. Let me show you a nucleon and why there are no gluons required. This, my friends, is a nucleon. It's made out of 3 quarks, and each quark is shaped like a bell bar. Why? Because quarks are made out of gravitons, and 2 gravitons make up for 1 quark. This, they are entwined. They have their hooks in each other, making up for 1 quark. 3 quarks, and every quark holds the other 2 in place. So you don't need a gluon to do this. So, which leaves us with no cause. You don't need a gluon for anything, because this is why the gluon was invented or made up. It couldn't imagine how a quark looks like. It couldn't imagine what a nucleon looks like. So, this is the best what scientists can do for you. This is the best representation of a carbon atom. the nucleus of carbon is this. They have 12 nucleons and all are made out of 3 quarks suspended in a blob of a gluon. But, which means that the entire thing, how can you hold those individual nucleons together? Well, let's add some more gluon and make one big blob. We get one big blob and all those quarks suspended in it. That's it. That's their best representation of carbon. What's star drive for a change? Look at the star drive's representation. This is carbon according to star drive. It has the right diamond structure. It has the right number of nucleons. It has the right atomic weight, the right atomic mass. It complies with Heisenberg uncertainty. It complies with the local orbitals. It complies with its valence. I can even pinpoint the protons from the neutrons. I can even give you a close-up. This is half of a carbon atom. You see the triangle thing? I can give you a detailed close-up of a carbon atom. This is not a standalone model. This is part of a much bigger model. I can build every atom available, every atom off the periodic table and more. And they all comply with the right number of valence and weight and etc. All using a very simple system. The same system. Very meticulously applying the same system, building the atoms in the same way. Choose the best to best. A nucleus of carbon according to mainstream science, according to the big boys. One man, a volunteer. I'm a volunteer in how you call those things, living quarters. I work with disabled people. I'm a volunteer. I work with disabled people. That's what I do. That's my job. I don't have this profession. I don't have a big salary. Those guys have, and they come up with these blobs, or maybe even one blob. This is the best they can do, and this is what I can do. Star drive versus mainstream science. You choose what looks like a carbon atom. This diamond shape or that blob. Simple, isn't it? So it's the gluon. Out of the window it goes. Now the Higgs particle. You must think I'm crazy to take on Higgs, but don't worry. Anytime, any place, anywhere, I can show the entire scientific community that they are wrong when it comes to Higgs. Bring it on. Higgs particle is just as imaginative as the other things. It's just out there, like a wormhole or like a gluon. It's just made up. Instead of having a room, a space, say space is filled with gravitons, and there's gravity as an interaction, and Higgs says no, the interaction of gravity is the Higgs mechanism, and the space full of gravitons is the Higgs field, and the gravitons themselves I call the Higgs particle. Has nothing to do with science, has all to do with vanity. Now you say, why? Because the Higgs particle is proven to be there, isn't it? No, it's just what you read in the papers. I tell you what CERN found. CERN found a medium-sized atom. They found some kind of pollution in their chambers, in both chambers. Medium-sized atom, something like 10 perhaps. Why? Because their Higgs particle weighs in over 100 times more than a single nucleon. So how can you have a theory where you have a nucleon, you add a Higgs particle, and then it suddenly has mass? It is proven that that cannot be, because their Higgs particle is proven to be 100 times heavier than a single nucleon. I don't see a gluon and I don't see a Higgs particle. So what they have proven is that Higgs theory is actually wrong. That's what they have proven. They didn't do that experiment by taking that Higgs and putting it in, and then look, it has mass, it has weight, and then taking it out, and it suddenly is weightless, it has no mass anymore. They didn't do that experiment, now did they? No. Did they write, did they investigate that Higgs particle and was the name Higgs stamped on it? Talking about vanity? No, not at all. So there is no need for it. I can tell you that as well. There is no proof of it. They found a mid-sized atom. They didn't find or prove its special properties. It cannot work because it's too heavy. And there's no need for it as well. Because star drive explains exactly how charge, how cohesion, how adhesion, how magnetism, how gravity works in detail. It's all about the same thing, quantization of gravitons. If two gravitons have the same speed, then they have a certain impulse. But when the speed differs with the same energy but different speed, then the impulse is lower. In other words, objects which quantize the gravitons around them will find each other. And that's just one of all those mechanisms. There is no single Higgs mechanism. There is no single mechanism for gravity. There are more mechanisms at work. And gravity is just a balance between push and pull. So, there's no need for Higgs mechanism. There's no need for Higgs to give something mass. So, why on earth do they think it's real? Based on their evidence, a mid-sized atom, that's it? No. Pure fantasy, all three. Gluon, Higgs particle, wormhole, 3 times nonsense. If you like the dispute, go ahead, place your comments. Bye now.